Today I'll show you how to design one of my most favorite summer dresses. This one. I'll show you the evolution of this dress as well as a little bit of raw behind the scenes. How I changed my mind in the process, it happens a lot, and also how I make mistakes and how I quickly fix them. To me, clothes making is a creative process. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're happy with the result in the end. And I can say with confidence that this is my favorite iteration of the dress to date. It is a very simple design, it is very simple to make, and it's an absolute joy to wear in summer. If you're new here, hi, my name is Liza Bennett. I am co-founder of Arkdefo, designer and educator. For many years, I used to hate my body because it doesn't fit into standard sizing systems, whether we're talking about ready clothes or ready patterns. And I used to think that something was wrong with me and my weird body shape. Until I finally broke free from this super toxic cycle and started working exclusively with my measurements, my body type, and my posture. If you keep wondering why ready patterns never fit you, the answer is very simple: because they don't have you in them. They were never meant to fit you. You can learn how to design your own based on your measurements, your body type, your posture, and they will always fit you. And it's a lot easier than you think. Every single garment pattern starts with a block. Using these blocks, you can design anything from a bra to a coat and everything in between. And no, I'm not exaggerating. These blocks are at the base of every single sewing pattern. The trick to have sewing patterns that always work for you is to have the blocks made correctly based on your individual measurements, your body type, your posture, and include all you specific imperfections into them. And the next step is to start spotting these blocks in every single garment you see around, on people on the street, in magazines, online, anywhere. Every time I'm going out for a walk, I'm scanning women around me to see what are they wearing, and I'm breaking down their garments into part and pieces in seconds. And if I really like something, I can come home and draft a pattern using my blocks in literal minutes. It is that easy, and it is exactly what we teach in our online clothes making school. You will learn how to turn your measurements into your custom bodice blocks, and then learn how to use these blocks to design any pattern for any garment you want. And the best news, any garment you make will always fit you, and it will fit you the way you want it to fit you. Looser or tighter, you can decide it. All the courses consist of pre-recorded video tutorials and are available immediately after you sign up, which means that you can take lessons at any time that suits you from anywhere in the world. We have courses for complete beginners who have never even touched a sewing machine, and for experienced makers who want to elevate their clothes making skills. I'll leave the link below this video. And the very first idea for this dress was actually inspired by a ready-to-wear blouse that I got ages ago. Even though it was kind of my size, it was really uncomfortable around the chest. It was pulling too much. It was absolutely killing me that it was so beautiful, so very me, yet so uncomfortable. And a few years later, I just decided to design my own based on the idea, but using my measurements so it actually fits me. And once I made my first one, I got so hooked that I started making more different blouses, experimenting with the sleeves and with the fabrics, and then making them longer, turning them into dresses. Then I realized that floral patterns, or at least these floral patterns, were not exactly my style. And then I made it using black linen. It was very soft, very nice to the skin, but it was lacking a bit of, stiffness to the fabric. It was way too soft, so the sleeves a bit falling down. Still, I love the dress and I wore it a lot. And I'm not sure why, but none of the original dresses had pockets. That's very not like me. The last version of this dress was the blue one that you might have seen in the previous videos. The biggest difference is that I didn't get the sleeve at the bottom. I decided to keep it open, and I'm not quite sure what I'm thinking about it. But anyway, that blue one was the summer dress last summer and this summer when we moved to Portugal. And after experiencing the proper Portuguese summer firsthand, I decided to make one in this cream white linen. Here is the thinking space. I have ideas, but I'm not sure exactly how I will make it. So this is kind of live action. Nothing is pre-planned, nothing is scripted. Even very simple designs sometimes need a bit of thought. As always, oversized, nothing too tight, and from the armhole down, kind of A-line, like this. This linen fabric is white and therefore it's a little bit sheer. And one thing I wanted to do, first I wanted to make a lining. So I think I want to add double layer, kind of the modesty screen. Basically second dress still here. The star of the show are the big sleeves. I'm not sure if I want it shorter or a bit longer. I think before the elbow. Short and puffy. The high-low hemline had its place at the time for me, but now I want a longer dress and a very simple, plain, straight hemline. Lengthwise, almost all the way down, but not quite because I don't want to trip in this dress. I love simple cuts. Next question is what's happening on the back. Funny enough, my obsession with this dress started with the tie on the back. I really love that detail. Here will be like a yoke. These are two details, right? 1, 2. And here is a tie. But now I'm removing it. It doesn't work for me anymore. If the neckline is wide enough, I don't have to do that. The goal of the season is to make super simple designs. So what I can do, I can actually use this lining as facing for the neckline. Quick recap, if you don't know, we moved to Portugal from the UK with very little clothes and practically no summer wardrobe at all. So this summer season, I'm actively working on creating the basics. And while the idea of adding lining to a linen dress, I also thought it would be the same fabric, so kind of double linen, is good in theory. But the more I was thinking about the lining, the more I was touching the fabric, the more I was just wondering, isn't it a bit too much for the really hot days? I changed my mind about one thing. I don't want to do lining. I looked again at the fabric, tried it from the mirror, and it's quite stiff, like in a way, you know, like holds shape pretty well. And I think that adding lining will make this dress kind of too heavy. So the more I was thinking about it, the more I was like, no, this is not the dress I want. I want it to be extra light, like this little cloud just flowing around my body, plenty of space, wind is flowing and cooling me down, you know, so no lining. Instead, what I'll do, I will make a set of skin color underwear. I'm not a big fan of beige underwear. It's just not my thing, and it kind of sounds like extra work, but you know what, I have a few more fabrics similar to this one that I was thinking I can just do lining. I don't want to do lining in summer. I want one layer, so this can come in pretty handy. And skin tone underwear works better than white in this case because white will be shining through. So, and as much as I'm not a fan of beige underwear, in this case it's actually a great solution. I made the sports bra using the similar principles I showed in this video. And as for the bottoms, please check our underwear playlist where you can learn how to take your measurements and design a custom pair of knickers that will finally work for you. I keep saying how simple is this dress. Let me break down the pattern. I'm using my Dartless blocks. I don't usually make garments with darts. I just like looser fits, so that's my go-to. Front bodice, I copy it as it is. Then I decide on the length. And from the armpit right away down, I ignore the waistline. No waistline. 2 seconds to make a pattern. It's exactly the same principle for the back. Just copy it. And I compare with the front for the length. One more thing, when you're drawing an A-line, you want to correct the bottom a little bit. So to the side seam, it comes a little bit up like a smiley face. Otherwise, you're gonna have yourself a very sad looking dress. I will change a little bit the neckline because this is the basic block, right? So the neckline is very literal at the neck. That's not what I want for the dress. I'll drop it down a little bit. And to also allow me to get in without any zips or ties or anything. And then I correct the shoulder from the back. I use my Dartless bodice blocks with 40 centimeter ease. 40 centimeter ease means that I'm adding 40 centimeters to my measurement. Look how far away the dress is from me. I know that so many of you are really not comfortable working with bigger numbers. I swear by oversized fit. It's so comfortable. It's so far away from the body, but the fabric drapes down and it doesn't look big. It just feels comfortable. And my bodice blocks with bigger ease never have darts. Why? Because the purpose of the darts is to bring the fabric in, to bring it closer to your body. And I want the opposite. I want it to be away from me. So no darts, extra ease, extra space for the air to flow and cool me down. Pockets are super straightforward. Piece of paper. pocket pattern. Yeah, you can make them as big as you want. I usually use my hands, but we got many comments that people often use their phone. So yeah, whatever works for you. The last part is the sleeve, and the puffy sleeve is one of my favorite sleeves ever, and I also think that they are the easiest ones to make. I'm not sure yet how puffy I want to go. The principle is the same. And now I divide it into 4 pieces and cut it out. I'll take contrasting piece of paper so you can see what's happening. And glue it. It's kind of equal distance, but don't overthink it, okay? And now I redraw my curve. This all remains untouched, and this here gets gathered. And in case of this dress, I actually measured how much fabric I had left for the sleeves. So I measured the bottom of the sleeve, and this is by how much I could spread my pattern, and then I redrew it. For this volume, I had 75 centimeters at the bottom. I'm quite happy with this puff for this dress, but I have a few other ideas in mind, and I think I would like to go a little bit bigger. It was ironed before, but I had to iron it again. But because it's linen, it's never fully ironed. It always looks a bit crinkly. I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna cut it. Option 1, front and back, is 2 full pieces, right? So just 2 pieces, front and back. Option 2, front is full piece and back is made out of 2. Because I'm using less fabric than I planned in the beginning, it means I'm gonna have some fabric left. So what I'm thinking now is, what's the best use that I can make something else later? You know what? I'm gonna make the back out of 2 pieces because this way I save more fabric. It makes much more sense. In terms of putting the dress together, it's honestly a walk in the park. So I had 2 pieces for the back, I just connected them. Then I connected the shoulder seams. And since I don't have the lining, and my idea of using lining is facing, you know, disappeared, I just make a very quick bias tape from the same fabric and use that to finish. The neckline is very nice and clean, very simple. And after that, I'm gathering the sleeve. To gather the puffy sleeve, you make sure that you do not touch this area right in your armpit. You don't need any puff here, right? You want all the volume on the shoulder, not in your armpit. I put a quick basting stitch along the entire curve, and then I gather it like the curtains, and then I just visually make sure that it's a perfect gather to fit the armhole and connect it as any other sleeve. Speaking of cutting corners, I thought I would do something quicker and just insert elastic into the sleeves, and I hate it. Let me show you why. So I don't mind as much how it looks. It looks okay, but I hate how it feels, because every time I stretch my arm, the elastic is stretching, and I didn't make it super tight. So there is plenty of space between my arm and the sleeve, but it's still very unpleasant, this pulling sensation. And second issue is the fabric itself. Every time I move, it kind of rubs me like a brush. It's the most unpleasant feeling. I have to do it right. I will unpick it, get out the elastic, and finish it off with a band, same way I did before. It looks, and most importantly feels, much better without the elastic. This is much softer, so it's a lot more freedom to move, and there is no this rubbing, so I'm happy. I can definitely say this is my favorite variation of this dress to date, and it feels absolutely fantastic to wear it in summer. And I guess the biggest thing I would like you to take from this video is try copying other designs, because in the process of doing it, you come up with your own ideas, and when you do, keep pushing it, no matter how simple it is. It took me 5 years to go from a shirt with a tie, plain sleeves and high-low hem, to a dress with very big puffy sleeves, no ties, maximum length, very simple hemline, and inseam pockets. I got inspired by an existing design. I did not like the fit. I tried to make my own, and by trying the same thing again and again with different approaches, making the pattern from scratch every single time, because I want to see what I can improve, what I can do better. In the end, I am getting myself the best version of this dress every single time. Don't be afraid to come back to the same design. If you love it, keep pushing it. You never know what opens up in the process of making it. Anyway, that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Stay creative, and I'll see you next time.